Hi, my name is C.J. Graham, General Manager of Agua, Caliente Resort and Spa in Rancho Mirage. I've been in the gaming industry for approximately 30 years. I got out of the military, went right into selling change, became at a mid-level through security, went to become a dealer, and then grew into the industry as an executive. Little tidbit, back in the late 80s, I played a hockey mask killer. I played Jason in Friday the 13th, Part 6. During my 4 years, which I received my Screen Actors Guild card, and then I came back in the industry back in 1990. So I've got about 25, 26 years in the industry. This is my 4th run as a general manager. Well, my leadership style is a little more hands-on than most. Delegation of authority is a big part of my leadership skills. I worked my way up from a very humble background, so I do try to get down to the team members, see what their issues are on the floor. I'd prefer they work for C.J. Graham rather than a title general manager. Well, the difference between a slot player and a table game player are completely 180 degrees. Your table game players are very innovative. They like to talk, they like to socialize. About 18 years ago, I opened up the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. First experience of a casino actually taking slot machines out to replace with table games. Now, on the other hand, we've done a full cycle where 70% of our floors are approximately slot machines. With the innovations of technology and stuff, slot players a little more one-on-one. They're not inverted per se, but they like to challenge a machine and make it a one-on-one battle. Very similar to games when they're playing video games nowadays. Well, the non-gaming elements to both the property and the customers are very important. Trying to find an entertainment value other than just the gaming piece is parallel to making sure that we have success in both areas. Though gaming is a very large percentage of it, as I said earlier, 70% of our slot play is our revenue, another 10% is table games. There's entertainment features, concerts, there's food product, there's food offerings. Friends that don't game per se, it's not entertainment to them, but they want to come in for the quality of the product, the quality of the environment, the demographics, and just some enjoyment. I mean, to make sure that you stay on top and ahead of everybody, ahead of the Jones or the Smiths, I have different philosophies on that. Being a general manager makes you generally dangerous in all areas, I always say. And I say that with a smile, but at the same time, I have experts in every field. I have vice presidents report to me, and they do a very good job, and they are an expert in each one of those. Listening to your team and understanding their needs, not just their personal needs from each department, but globally by looking at things three-dimensional. Dictatorship is very easy. Leadership is a collaborative group of folks sitting down and looking for the best solution, the best practice that's going to best serve whoever you work for, the company you represent. I think the challenges as we go forward are going to be the continued acceptance of internet gaming. In one form or another, that's going to set precedents in the stage for the future, the next generation of gamers, if you will. As we get into internet gaming, it's going to change the structure of slot machines, the platforms. It's also going to change the structure of table games and how we do table games. Currently, they're viewed on, like I said earlier, table games are very interactive. But as they shift into an iGaming mode, things are going to shift dramatically. So the next generation of gamers is going to be a very important part of what we're doing. We're trying to find that stabilization of a balance between the direct mail client and the email client as we go forward into the next generation. Very active as far as engaging as to the type of food product or offerings they want. Surveys are important, but at the end of the day, you need to look at brand market. Brands that have been there for longevity that you're not just going to put in for 2-3 years and have to turn them. So taking a look at the opportunities of brands that have been out there historically for a dozen years or more. They're the better offerings for longevity versus a short-term trend that 3-4 years you have to turn. As far as engagement with food and beverage and my management style, just 2 weeks ago I had meetings with my steakhouse representatives, all of my cooks and my my dishwashers, some of my waiters and waitresses. And we went through issues and concerns, and then I sat down with the directors and the chef to see if we could adjust those concerns. Some were as simple as just recipe consistencies. So the engagement piece to make sure everything is consistent, the product is at 100%, again, best practice. As far as maintaining the change and being ahead of the curve, curb appeal is very important in any product. Making sure that your team is out there being assertive to make sure that you're finding the best trends possible, but at the same time continuously monitoring what's hot and what's not. And at the same time making a calculated risk that's going to bring a return on the investment to the property in question that you work for. At the end of the day, you work for your owners, you work for a company that you're supposed to represent. You're supposed to represent a high EBITDA or a return on the investment or revenue. Always looking at the trends to see what's possible. As the landscape changes out there economically, you have to adjust with that. Pocket spend changes. It may dramatically go up as it did back in '06. It may drop as it did in '09. And with that, you have to change your philosophy of how you're going to do in your business and what your retention value per guest is.